Hey, what's up everyone? Josh Quinones here, and today we're going to be taking a look at both the new TCL 10 Pro and the TCL 10L. I've had both of these phones for a bit now, and honestly, I've really been enjoying them. For the price that these phones go for, they have really impressed me so far. We got the TCL 10 Pro going for $450 and the TCL 10L going for $250. Both will be available to purchase on May 19th, which is right around the corner from the recording of this video, and they will be available to purchase on Amazon. So I'll make sure to have some links down in the description below of this video and future videos to come when that date comes. But let's go ahead and compare the two and see which one could possibly be the best pick for you. So starting with looks, I think both are great looking devices in their own way. The 10L has more of a glossy look to it in the back with a pretty cool design depending on how you hold it in the light. Then with the 10 Pro, we have more of a matte frosted finish that I think looks really cool and feels really good in the hand. It has a real nice soft touch to it. Both have that 4-camera setup in the back, but with the 10 Pro, the cameras are nice and flush with the back, which looks really nice. Now you'll notice the 10L is the only one with that rear fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor on the 10 Pro is actually in the display. Now this is really going to come down to personal preference on whether you like it in the display or on the back. Honestly, I'm good with both because both work good and are pretty accurate, but the fingerprint sensor on the 10L is actually just a bit faster than the 10 Pro. And honestly, I've always thought that having the fingerprint reader in the back was always the sweet spot because your finger is pretty much always just naturally resting there. But I don't know, that's just me. Both of these devices also have facial recognition, which is surprisingly pretty fast. I haven't had any problems with it yet. Now going to the displays, TCL is using their NXT vision on both so you can get the best out of these displays. The 10L does have a bigger display and just the device itself is overall bigger as well. It's an LCD 6.53-inch flat Full HD Plus display that actually looks really good. It does have that punch hole camera cutout at the top left, which I don't really find to get in the way. Now, it doesn't get the brightest, so you might have a hard time using it in bright sunlight, but apart from that, it does look really good. Then going over to the 10 Pro, it's got a 6.47-inch Full HD Plus curved AMOLED display. And I gotta say, this display looks amazing. I look at this display and I feel like I'm looking at a flagship display sometimes. The colors pop and are nice and vibrant. It's got an always on display feature. It gets a lot brighter than the 10L. And we also get more of a bezel-less experience with this one as well. You'll notice that there is no camera cutout. Instead, TCL decided to go with the teardrop notch, which in my opinion looks really good on this device. The overall size also makes for better one-handed usage than the 10L because it's just a bit smaller and more narrow. Both phones have a headphone jack, which is a huge plus. They both also have a smart key, which is one of my favorite features with these devices. You can customize this key to pretty much do whatever you want on either device. It can do things like activate your voice assistant, it can open up the camera, open up certain apps, take screenshots, or even turn on the flashlight. It definitely comes in handy, and I really hope that TCL keeps this feature for future devices to come. Now, one thing the 10 Pro has that the 10L doesn't have is an IR blaster. I'm not gonna lie, I was super excited when I found this out because I had an IR blaster on an older device a long time ago and I really enjoyed using it. So the fact that the 10 Pro has one is just a huge plus in my opinion. I can use it to control things like my TV, projector, air conditioner, and much more. It's just a super cool feature to have and to show off to people that don't have one. Now, when it comes to performance, both actually perform really good. They're both running Android 10. The 10 Pro has the Snapdragon 675, while the 10L has the Snapdragon 665. So slightly better processor on the 10 Pro, but aside from looking at specs on paper, both run really good, especially the TCL 10L. I was really surprised. I don't think I ever used a $250 phone that ran this good. So far, I haven't experienced any problems, whether I'm just looking through social media, using the internet, or on YouTube, or just doing basic things. Now, Of course, we are still in those early stages for both of these devices, and both will be getting updates as well, and will even be getting Android 11 when that comes out. But I do gotta say, the 10 Pro is a bit smoother and snappier, which is to be expected. I mean, it is the Pro model, so it better perform better. Gaming has been good so far. I haven't done the most gaming, but the bit that I have done has been pretty good so far. Both devices seem to do well. I will continue to test this out for my full in-depth review on both phones, but for right now, I do gotta say that gaming looks great on both. Now, when it comes to battery life, of course, everyone wants a battery that lasts all day. The 10L has a 4000 milliamp battery and the 10 Pro has a 4500 milliamp battery. I am able to get an entire day of usage with both of these phones, and sometimes more depending on my usage, which will be different for everyone. But I did notice that even though the battery on the 10 Pro is bigger, I'm actually getting about the same amount of battery life as the 10L. Now, I'm not really sure if that's because I'm using the always on display, or maybe the usage was a bit heavier at that time, but that is one thing that I did notice. And not that it's a problem, because like I said, I am able to get through a full day on both of these devices without having to worry about throwing them on a charger during the day. But I will keep an eye on this to see if it changes for my full review on both of these phones. Okay, now let's talk cameras. Y'all already know that cameras are a big deal for me when it comes to smartphones, so I was really curious to see what the quality was going to be like on affordable devices like these. I actually received the 10L a week earlier than the 10 Pro, so of course that was the first one I tried out, and let me tell you, I was very impressed when I started to take photos. For a $250 device to have a camera that is this good is crazy. Pictures look great whether I'm using the rear camera or selfie lens. The macro lens is super cool to use as well, capturing a lot of detail on close-up shots. Now, where it does struggle a bit is with night photos. Depending on how dark your situation is, pictures can come out pretty good or not really that good. Then when it comes to video, it is pretty decent, not the best I've seen, but good enough to capture those unforgettable moments that can hit us without warning. Now, when it comes to the cameras on the 10 Pro, I was just as impressed. Picture quality is great, night mode has been good so far as well, and those macro shots capture so much detail, it is crazy. It's a really fun mode to use. When it comes to video, I'll need to do a little bit more testing because it seems like the video quality is actually a bit better on the 10L than the 10 Pro, but I was told an update is coming to both of these devices, so maybe that update will improve video quality. Now, I did notice one thing when it comes to photos on both devices. The 10 Pro photos tend to be just a bit more saturated than the 10L. Now, of course, this will all come down to personal preference on whether you like your photos to be more or less saturated. But in my opinion, for the price that both of these devices are going for, the cameras have been great so far. So, the question is, which one should you get? The TCL 10 Pro is going for $450 and the TCL 10L will be going for $250. Now, in my honest opinion, I think you'll be happy with either. If you're looking to save as much money as possible, then the 10L is the way to go. It looks good, it performs well, has some great features and great cameras. You'll definitely be getting a great phone that I personally feel is probably worth more than what it costs. But if you want a device that looks better and more like a flagship, performs a bit better, has an IR blaster, and a better display, then definitely go with the TCL 10 Pro. If you have an extra bit of money to put out, do it. With just a little bit of testing I've done so far, I am really loving the 10 Pro. But like I said, both are great devices. I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments sections below. Are you possibly thinking about picking one up for yourself? My full reviews for both of these devices will be coming soon, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any of those future videos to come. Don't forget to leave a huge thumbs up on this video if you did like it and find it helpful. Thanks so much for watching. This is Josh Quinones, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.